Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jonathan back again with the weekly scuffle, and I'm here to talk about Jake Paul and his return to the ring against 17-2 Ryan Bourland, which honestly I think is a solid fight for Jake Paul considering the trajectory he's trying to go on. And I think it's a solid move for his career. He's clearly trying to build up his traditional boxing record and go the traditional route, which I respect him for that. But I think this fight is somewhat of a misleading adventure. Definitely for people that don't really know boxing. As much as I hate to compare Jake Paul to Vidal Riley, that is the example I'm going to use because Vidal is going to his 11th fight and he will fight a 17-1 boxer, and Jake Paul is going into his 10th fight and he is fighting a 17-2 boxer. And both cruiserweight fighters, you know, very similar records, but the big massive difference is Ryan Bourland and Michael Lawal are two completely different fighters. Lawal would annihilate Jake Paul. I can say that fully and confidently. And Ryan Bourland would probably get knocked out by a one-handed Vidal Riley. And I do not exaggerate that. Bourland, while I give him credit for being a 72 fighter, he's been knocked out before. He's got 6 KOs in 19 fights, 17 of those victories. And honestly, I think Jake Paul and his team, I give them credit where credit is due. A lot of talk went into Tommy Fury's opponents before the Jake Paul and KSI fights of how he fought nobodies, which was true at the time, but Jake Paul is doing a great job of fighting kind of relative nobodies who get massive paydays for fighting him under big bright lights, which they are not experienced to at all, and which are kind of retired, semi-retired lightweights or light heavyweights, I should say. And bringing them up to cruiserweight, it makes sense. Visually the records look good on Jake Paul's record. Now he would have beat a 10-1 fighter, a 17-2 fighter. And honestly, I think while these fights may not mean much for Jake's career, I think him getting in there with pro fighters, pro boxers, I should say, and getting camps and fighting more pro boxers, I think that's only going to help him develop and potentially, win a Tommy Fury rematch or potentially beat a KSI when the KSI fight does happen. But I think that could potentially bite him in the butt because while Andre August and Ryan Borland do give him the ability to spar and train for more traditional boxers, I think one thing that they severely lack is the technical ability given to them by their athleticism. These guys are not as athletic as Tommy Fury or KSI. I think KSI, while being a YouTuber, is more athletic than people give him credit for. Same with Tommy Fury. He may not be the best boxer of all time, but you can see he's always clearly in shape. He has exceptional length for his size. And honestly, I think it's gonna be potentially a detriment for Jake Paul if he continues to fight these guys. I think someone like a Juilo Ceasar Chavez Jr. could potentially be a great fight for Jake Paul. Anderson Silva, who Jake already beat Julio, but it gives credence to Jake Paul's legitimacy in the sport of boxing. Julio is a former WBC champ, a former opponent of Canelo Alvarez. He has his father's name, and he has that experience in the ring. And I think honestly, he'd give Jake a good fight. I don't think he's gonna fold in one round like I expect Ryan to do. If Ryan does not fold in one round, I'll credit to Ryan. But with that being said, I think this fight is gonna say a lot about Jake's potential trajectory in the sport, and I think him maybe going back to fighting UFC guys might just be the wave because at least they're giving him ring time, allowing him to develop in the ring. Granted, not against the traditional style, but at this point in his career, I think he would need more ring time experience under the bright lights because I've seen him getting really close with the WBO, which is very interesting because the WBO, similarly to the WBC, have been known to do favors for more higher notoriety characters in this world of boxing, which could lead Jake Paul to potentially getting a title shot that he does not deserve. But with that being said, we'll see how all this plays out and see you next time. Peace.